right, great. So now we know about data types, we created our databases, and so on. Let's continue on with our script here. One last thing we have not talked about, and that is this drop table statements, okay? You might be asking, what the heck is that, and why are they there? Well, again, as I mentioned earlier on in a previous video, the SQL Server is not meant to be doing what we're using it for, education. Not that we can't do it, but it was really not meant for that, okay? And so it also was really meant to do what we're going to be doing in this class and continually, excuse me, our updating our databases over and over again, and actually rerunning this script over and over again. That's what you're going to find yourself doing as you're perfecting it and adding to it and so on. So one of the things we want to do is we want to make it easier that every time you run the script, it actually works. So I'm going to take these out real fast, okay? I'm going to paste that out of there. And I'm going to, let's see, what's this right here? Okay, yeah, it's actually telling me. If I run this script now, okay, I've already ran it and created the database, but if I run it again, you're going to see that I'm going to get an error message. You guys will get these error messages, okay? You got to read them, you got to understand them, and the more you get them, the more you're going to understand, the more you're going to know how to fix them, okay? Hopefully, we'll try to help you solve many of these little problems that come up. What this is saying is, well, you've already created the tables, and these exist. And so when you say, I'm going to rerun the script again, it's asking you why. Why are you doing this, okay? Now, you may have sat back and just gone in and said, oh, I forgot to add first name. And so you put first name in there, and you run the script again, and again, you get this error, okay? Well, once again, this create table right here, this create table, is creating a table. And if it's already in the database, which if we go over here, you see that it actually is, right? Where's our, let's see, T courses, T students, there it is. T students is sitting right here. It's already there. So it's saying, why are you creating it again? You can't create it twice. So what we want to do every time we run the script so we can continually rerun and update and fix and so on, we want to delete those tables first and then recreate them. Does that make sense? So it's just kind of, I don't want to say a trick that we're doing for this particular course that says, because we're going to be playing around with this script over and over again, every time we run it and we run these creates over and over again, we want to delete everything that was in the database and start all over again. And so to do that, I will put, again, this is top down. Remember, this all works top down like any other programming language. I'm going to put these things in there called drop tables. See that right there? Drop table. So what this line actually says is a little logic here, right? It's saying if, okay, T students if T students is there, what this is basically saying, if T students is actually in the database already, drop it, aka delete it. If it's not, it won't. So the first time you run this thing and it doesn't exist anymore, well, it doesn't even exist because you haven't run it yet, it won't delete it. That's actually a good thing. So we actually need to make sure that every table we create actually has a drop table associated with it beforehand. So when you do your assignments based upon the tables you're creating, once you create each one of your tables here, make sure you cut and paste the name and stick it in here. Make sure you stick it here and here. Some students I've had before stuck it here, but forgot to stick it over here. Okay, stick it being a, I don't know, kind of a weird term, but you get my idea, hopefully. Okay, make sure it's spelled correctly. Sometimes I get students who do this and they forget the T and the S or something like that. Computer's only going to do what you tell it to do. So what it will do is it'll see that, okay, yeah, it's there. I'm going to drop T student. And well, probably can't find that, number one. Number two, T students will still be out there. You're still going to get an error. So make sure that you spell it absolutely correctly on both sides of the drop table command. Does that make sense? These drop tables are going to get a little bit more elaborate as we get into the course a little bit more. Nothing too fancy and nothing too hard, but it's a little bit more elaborate, and we'll talk about that when we get to that point. But right now it's a one-to-one correlation. Whatever you create, make sure you have a drop table. Now this allows me now to run this again, and it completed successfully. So with doing that, it ran, it completed. Basically what happened in that case was it deleted all the tables and then went through the creates and actually created the tables again. Make sense? Okay. I want to show you something really fast, and I might show you again in a future video. But when you execute this, it will come up with a little window down here, okay, that tells you what happened. In some cases, you're going to see the results just like this in the commands that's completed successfully. You can get errors that will show up in that window, and you're going to get result sets. We're not quite there yet to explain even what a result set is, but just trust me, you're going to get result sets there. To get that window out of there, a very quick and easy way is Control R, and it goes away. Got it? So when you execute, it'll put it there. If you want it gone because it's in your way, you want to fix things, Control R. Hold the Control key down, press R, and it goes away for you. All right? I'll probably show you that in another video coming up, but Control R is a nice little thing to remember.